Yeah. Where's Anna? There she is! Your hair is awesome. Seriously, it's the most awesome thing ever. So we're gonna try to make this video. I don't know if my child's gonna scream in the background or not, but you know, we'll go for it. So we're in a house-to-house series that our pastor is doing. Just basically the importance of living out the gospel. We don't have a church problem, as so many people would argue, but I think we have a house problem. It's what we do in the house that is important, because God is a God of cycles. He is the wheel within the wheel. And what you do in your home then bleeds through into your church. So the cycle goes on. So you're breeding negativity in your home, well, then you're going to take it to church. If you're breeding positivity in the home, well, guess what? You're going to take it to the church. So, you know, it's a great series. Awesome. So, tonight we're talking about that, the cycle, and he had touched on this thing that I just, thought was awesome. Hang on, I'm going to turn down Brother John. Brother John. Oh yeah. His books are good. So, anyways, here we go. He talked about, to have revival in the church, you must first have it in the home. And that just stuck out to me so much, because I'm 5th generation Pentecost. I've grown up with the word revival being a very churched word, super churched. And for me, it's a great word, but I interpret it as, hold my mule, I'm fixing to shout down, bobby pins flying everywhere, and we're going to, be in service for 3 hours, and it's going to be awesome. And then tomorrow we're going to do it again, and it's going to be great. I love these revivals. They're awesome. They're life-changing. But how do you interpret that into your home? How do you have revival in your home? So, yeah, I just kind of got to thinking, and I'm a definition nerd. The first thing I'm going to do is look up the word on Mr. Google and see what he has to say about it. And so I did, and the word revival, there are several kind of definitions, breakdowns of the word, but a few of my favorite. The very first one, as soon as you pop up, it says an improvement in the condition or strength of something. Now remember, we're talking about the word revival in your home. So let's just take something and make it your home. So the improvement in the condition or strength within your home. What are you doing to improve your relationship with God in your home? Strengthening your relationship with God in your home. This is in order to get revival. Everything that we know, it's a spiritual connection to revival. And I am not discrediting the spiritual, incredible things that happen in revival within your church, because all of this, if this is in order and you have revival in your home, inevitably it will bleed through within your church. As a church body, if we are actively seeking out these things, we will have revival within our church. And I think that that is something that we need desperately, constantly. And remember, revival is to revive. So something that was dead is brought to life. Right now, it's the week after Easter, and I think that it's very fitting that we talk to our women about something that was dead being brought to life. If we serve the kind of God who conquered the grave, and he did, then that same power, songs are written about it, the same power is within us. So if we need a resurrection in certain things in our lives, we have that power within us through Christ. He can then revive what is missing, what has been dead. So never discredit that kind of power. I mean, it's that kind of power. So an improvement in the condition or strength of something. What are you doing to improve your relationship with God, to improve your relationship with your family? You know what I'm saying? God was a relational God and still is. So it's one of those, what are you doing in your relationships to improve them, to strengthen them? So my second definition, and it kind of bleeds over back with the first, all these kind of going together because it makes up one word, which is revival. An instance of something becoming popular, active, or important again. And I love that it's important again, you know. something becoming popular means that it is actively spoken about, actively seen, actively heard. It should be popular to pray in your home. It should never be weird. You know what I mean? It should never be weird for somebody to say, I'm going to pray right now for you. And I know some people can take that to the extreme. Don't do that. Don't be so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good. But it should never be awkward for you and your spouse to sit down and say, we're going to pray together. Or you and your family to sit down and we're going to pray together. This is what we're going to do. It's popular within our home to actively pray and fast and study the Word of God. This is, it should be popular. If it's not within your home, that's something you need to work towards. Like I said, this is for revival in your home. These are just the definitions, and they're great points to build on in order to get revival. My child fell, but she's okay. So important again. And I love, honestly, in order to get revival, things have to be, everything is important in your life, right? Our church has this saying that it's kind of like our mission statement. We are a church that is committed to God, family, and the needs of others. So we don't just say that. It's not just fun to say. It doesn't just flow. We decided to put that in the categories that they are because it's flows. No, it's actually in the proper categories. God, family, and the needs of others. It's so important to categorize these things correctly. They're all important. These are all important things. But if they're mixed up, you're not going to get revival. She's blowing me kisses. So, thank you. So anyways, categorizing them. So it's important to make sure that your relationship with God, because remember, your home is not your house, it's who you are, right? If you're a single individual, it's you. Your body's your temple, you're your home. You set the pace within your surrounding area. If you are a mom, with a spouse, and it's your family, and you all actively work together to make sure that your home is where it needs to be. You're actively seeking revival, right? So this is something, categorizing things and the important things in proper order. So your relationship with God first for anything. After that, family. After that, the needs of others. Within your family, if you are a married individual with children, your spouse comes first. All right, now some people have a hard time with that, but I'm telling you right now, your spouse comes first. You got to make sure each other are taken care of. Our pastor says it's so great in this series. He talks about, look, at the end of the day, your children are going to grow up. They're going to move on. They're going to have their own lives, and you're going to deal with empty nest. You're going to deal with all these things. Who do you have to fall back on? Your spouse. Your spouse is literally the person you spend your life with. You have to make sure your relationship with them is perfect. And when you both are putting each other and your family in the proper categories, nobody is neglected. Your children are never neglected. Do not sacrifice your children on the altar of relationships. Tweet it. Okay, that is not what I mean. Categorizing it is you're putting your relationship, you're making sure you're okay. You make decisions to proactively make sure that you and your husband are okay. You and your wife, you're okay. We put each other first. We make time for each other, okay? I'm tired and I'm weary, but my husband needs some time with me, and I'm going to take that time. You do that. That's just, categorizing that. After that, your children. Put your children first. After that, you got to make sure they're taken care of. But you know what? If we are Christians actively living out faith, because faith is nothing without action, we have to constantly be serving as a Christian. So we can't just be these people that live in our bubble, that do nothing for others. It's one thing if we get our family together, but we don't serve others. We're not actively living out our faith and fellowship or witnessing, or you got to put others in an important category. That being said, and this is a lot to think about, don't ever put your friends before your family. I'm just gonna leave that there. Don't ever do that. If the important categories are uncategorized, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna have issues. So make sure It's in the right order. This is in order to have revival. This is what it takes. And if you are actively just seeking this stuff out, making your prayer life popular, making your fasting popular, and don't boast about it. Social media is not your home. Ooh, it's not your home. What you're doing in your personal life with your personal immediate family, that is your home, and you set that pace, okay? I'm not going to be posting about what day I'm fasting with my husband. Maybe our marriage needs some work, and we're going to fast and we're going to pray about it. We're not telling anybody about it, but we're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're actively seeking this out because we need revival within our marriage, or we need revival within our relationships with our kids. Right now, she's 15 months old, so I don't think much needs to be revived. Whatever. But anyways, these are just some things that you need to think about in order to have revival in your home. And when you have it, inevitably, it bleeds out. It bleeds out into other people. It bleeds out into your church. I am so into the fact that you can have revivals in your church that last and last, and you have these worship sets and these incredible experiences with God at the altar, and you're crying and you get these incredible moments with Him. But I don't ever want to be so moment driven that I forget relational change. My relationship with God is daily, not just at the altar. So I love and appreciate revival within my church, but in order to actively have revival, I have to be living out revival in my home. It has to be a constant process within my home. So just something to think about. I hope it's blessed you. I know it's blessed me. I'm just kind of all shook because, guys, there's things I need to work on. There's things I need to work on. We need revival within our home. Everybody, there's always something productive you can be doing to actively better your relationship with God. So, thanks, guys.